Hello, everyone. We're back again. It feels like forever away that we did last video, wasn't it? It had been in March, though.
It
Um,
does,
it's
yeah.
light behind me now.
And it's dark here.
We've swapped, haven't we?
Yeah, we're normally opposite way round.
Well, today's all about Jill Dando. And I know many people in the UK know about Jill Dando. She was assassinated on the 26th of April, 1999. And we've just been discussing it as we discuss all the cases.
Yeah,
I've got
prior.
some cards pulled as well. I didn't tell you that, did I? I've got some cards
Yeah,
pulled.
I
Yeah.
pulled a couple as well
Yeah.
just to try and tap into the energy.
Because, I mean, it's a case that there's so many theories around it. A man called Barry George was arrested and charged and put in prison. And then he was acquitted or something or released. And
He was, and the reason was because the evidence that they had on him was a small residue in his pocket from a gun. So gun residue, tiny
mm,
speck of gun residue, and that's what they based the entire case on for him. He was a bit eccentric, a little bit maybe neurodivergent.
hmm
So they kind of built this case around him based on this one little speck of gun dust. And then it
mm,
was found out that before they did that testing on that jacket, they hung it on a mannequin to take its photo first, and that same mannequin's been used in other cases. So any amount of dust could have already been on that mannequin. So that's the
wild.
reason he was acquitted the second time around, because
Yeah.
that case kind of just fell apart. That's all they had on him.
Mm. It is wild, isn't it? So at the time she was engaged to Alan Farthing, who I think it was soon after her death, or a couple of years, became the Queen's. He was a gynecologist and then became the Royal Surgeon, the Queen's Surgeon. He delivered at least one of the Duchess of Cambridge's children at the time. I think he may have delivered all three, but I'm not sure. She was close friends with Cliff Richard, who Cliff
Right.
Richards, who was interesting. Um, He's a very sensitive subject, is Cliff. He's another national treasure who
Hmm.
has numerous allegations against him, if you're
I
willing to
remember.
dive deep. Okay.
Yes.
Many people love and adore him and he's untouchable, but many people have started to share things online. He did have his house searched and it was leaked via the BBC. And you'll
This was a few
hear,
years back, wasn't it? I do
mm,
recall that
mm,
being on news right around the
mm,
world a few
mm.
years back.
And
Mm,
and it was leaked by the BBC, and somehow it ruined the whole case, etc. And he ended up
okay.
suing. But Cliff Richard, for many, has a question mark above his head in relation to abuse, etc. But it's a
Okay.
proper
Yes.
touchy subject.
Oh,
And
yes. That's a funny word to use.
well, exactly, yeah.
Yeah.
Pardon the pun with that one.
Yes, exactly.
Then we all know since obviously since Jill died, we all know about Jimmy Savile, who had connections to the BBC and Royal
Hmm.
Connections, etc. At the time, many people weren't aware of Jimmy Savile in the outer world. More people knew about it in his inner circles and also the victims and certain police officers. But since Jill's died, and like I don't know how many years, is it like 20 years or something now? Maybe even longer, won't it?
1999. Was it
That,
1999?
yeah,
About
even longer.
26, 27. Yeah, 27 years almost.
Yeah, yeah.
April, at the end of April.
A lot's happened. So we now know that
Yes.
the BBC is a cesspit or was a cesspit. We've got Jimmy Savile, we've got Hugh Edwards, we've got other people that have done similar things. There's still question marks over Cliff Richard. We also now know about the Andrew Mountbatten Windsor stuff as well. So we're coming in from a different angle now.
Hmm. Hmm. As
Um,
well as then you're looking at
Serbian
the other
thing.
Serbian theme as well, and the NATO bombing the Serbian radio television station three
Hmm
days prior.
So
Mm.
it's
And then the Crime Watch angle too.
yo
So
yo.
maybe there's
It's a lot.
somebody on there with like a bit of a revenge,
Hmm
wanting a bit of revenge for one of the
hmm
cases.
hmm
It's a lot of angles to
Yeah.
cover today.
And you know as a reader, sometimes before you read on a subject, something will happen to you. You'll get a dream or you'll get a conversation or something will actually happen
Yes.
in your room. Two
Yes.
things. We were talking, me and Gary, before I came on, not about this
Hmm.
case. We were talking about somebody else. And I just very innocently turned around and said, well, it's boys' clubs, isn't it? It's these gentlemen clubs and men clubs and boys stick together and um societies, etc.
And
And
it would
oh
have
yeah,
been
yeah,
big
yeah.
back then.
Yeah, and I didn't think realize. I was like, oh. oh, I wonder if that's a conversation that's trying to pique my interest or something. I don't know.
Mm.
And then I came in here and I've got this lighter thing to light my candle and it wouldn't light. And sometimes it gets wax at the top and it's like an LED thing and it sends out electric shock. And I'm
Oh
poking
yeah.
around in the wax to get it off. And for some reason, I had it rested on my finger and it went like a taser on my finger. Now, it don't burn
Oh
because it can't burn.
yeah.
But it's a shock. And I was like, there's something in that because I'm usually so careful with that.
Oh,
And I
okay.
was like, you're poking around in something and you get your shock.
Uh-huh.
Do you know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
Stop poking
Yes.
around in something. Doosh. Do you know
Right.
what I mean?
I also, what bothers me about this case is that she was walking home to go into her door
Mm,
and the actual gunshot was point blank. So how she didn't feel somebody following her, were they hiding in bushes, tasered? Well, they would have seen taser marks, I guess, if
mm,
unless it was under her hair. But that's one thing that kind of bothers me about this case is that how did they get so close to her at
mm.
her front door? That kind of really bothers me, that one.
Did you know? Because I've just read something that they think that, and I don't know if it was an eyewitness said that they had got her by the throat and they went boom like that.
Okay.
Um,
Okay.
because apparently a neighbour said he heard a scream, but he just thought it was somebody screaming out in
Yeah.
shock.
Okay. And
I suppose
that
it
was
could
it.
sound like that. Oh, do you
Yeah.
know what I mean?
Yeah. And maybe it happened so fast that it was,
Yeah,
but you'd also hear the gun unless it was a silencer.
yeah,
I don't think I've heard anybody mention the gun, the sound of a gun.
yeah.
And that's an interesting point that it's a had a silencer on
Mm-hmm.
if you couldn't hear the gunshot.
Mm-hmm.
So Paul was trying to make the connection and I kept getting something was seen. So somebody's seen.
Mm.
And my connection prior, I had a dream about 2 nights ago, weird dream. I really couldn't place it. It was I had a baby
Oh
and
yeah.
I had to cut the cord and I was bleeding out, so I had to hold the cord while they just tried to find a clamp to stop the bleeding. And I thought, well, that's a very weird dream, random dream to have. And normally my weird dreams are connected to cases that are
Mm-hmm.
coming up.
Mm-hmm.
And I had no idea about this case, but also I've just realized that 1999 I had a newborn baby in May. So May I had a newborn baby. So only maybe a few days after her case, I had a newborn baby,
Wow.
not knowing the date of this case coming up. So, but then there's another connection that you've
Yeah,
mentioned to
because
me
with him
about
being the
the
gynecologist. Another
babies.
thing that is weird as well is her date of birth. I think her date of birth was the 9th of November. Now, the gunpowder plotters, Guy Fawkes and stuff,
Mm-hmm.
I think they were executed around about from the 5th of November to just after the 9th of November. You know, Guy Fawkes
Yeah.
point at Parliament.
Yeah.
And I wonder if
Remember the
there's some
5th of November.
symbolism in
Yeah.
that, if she was trying to blow up the system. Um, like
The
you
boys'
know
club.
yourself, numbers follow you throughout many different lifetimes.
They do.
Um,
They do. Yeah, I wonder. And blowing up the system, I wonder if that was to do with the boys' club that you mentioned. So your visions coming in and your thoughts coming
mm,
in.
mm, yeah,
A lot of avenues here
mm,
with this one.
yeah, it's interesting. And I did a weird vision as well before I came on, because obviously there's this big thing about the Queen's dresses getting released and in London where you can go see them. And I just got a vision that what if the powers that were at the time got rid of Edward to have a female queen on the throne, thinking of the female line could be a weakened line. Because I
Mm,
just keep seeing this network that doesn't really involve the Queen, but it's a network. There's networks within networks within networks, but
of
there's an
course.
outer network of people that work within these areas.
Yeah.
Can't explain
Control
it.
systems.
Yeah, I felt it in when I went to Windsor Castle. I went to Windsor, and I felt this network of, like, say, for example, if you went to work in the offices, you'd come across them.
Okay.
The puppet
Right.
master energies.
Oh, yeah. That's exactly what I thought you were talking
Yeah.
about. The ones that pull the
Mm,
strings. Yeah. So even though we have the ones that are in power, whether that's the royal family, whether that's
mm,
politicians,
mm.
there's a layer above those, which are the puppet masters,
Yeah,
which is why I don't trust any politicians.
I know. I know. It's an interesting one. Do you want to share your cards first or?
Yeah, well, I was trying to tap into her energy, and the cards that I got were kind of interesting. I pulled out of the Connections Oracle because that's my softest deck, and I used that one there just to try and tap into the person's energy first of
Mm-hmm.
all. And I've got to admit, it took me about 20 minutes
Mm-hmm.
to try and get a connection there. But I feel like she was feeling unsafe.
Mm-hmm.
So this is a protector card. Now, I know that her and another female colleague at the BBC were receiving letters, threatening letters, letters about kidnappings and all kinds of things. So that kind of made sense to me. And this is when I realized I had a connection. I think that she felt unsafe.
Yeah.
But then I've got the card of neglect. I think that the management in that neglected
Mm-hmm.
their role as protecting her and keeping her safe, as
Mm-hmm.
far as, receiving threatening letters or just generally feeling unsafe around her job. And then I got multiple issues. It wasn't just one thing, it wasn't just one
Mm-hmm.
letter or stalker. There was multiple reasons why she felt unsafe in her job or felt like the management neglected to do anything about her situation. And that could also come back to the boys' club that you're
Mm-hmm.
talking about there with that one there. And then home. This is her, it happened at her home. This is
Mm-hmm.
why I realized I had the connection. And I wonder if that's the reason why she didn't stay at her home because she felt unsafe.
Mm-hmm.
So she stayed with the boyfriend or the fiance often. I wonder if it's because she felt unsafe on her own in the home there, just given these cards.
Who lived next door to her? I've just been shown a vision of her house and who lived next door.
It's
Or
funny you say
was
that
one
because the
house
card that kept
empty?
coming, I kept getting out card number 27, kept falling out, card number 27, and she was 29.
Who lives at number 27? Or
Mm,
who lived at number 27?
yeah, yeah. And that's a good logical point to make because if she was never there, someone had to know that she was there.
Mm,
Somebody had to know. And the people that knew would have obviously been maybe her fiance and her manager because he was the one that faxed the documents to her so she could go and pick them up from her home. There was very few people that knew that she was going to be at the home.
mm,
Maybe neighbors, like you said, neighbors could have seen that she was there.
yeah, it's very
So
interesting, isn't it? I picked
it
a
is.
card from I think nearly all of your decks.
Okay.
I've got them all here. Well, more
Yeah.
nearly all of them.
Yep.
I got held down for this one. And it's got held down, heavy burdens, weight issues. And I'm like, well, I don't think she had a weight issues, but I think it
Mm.
was the burden of what she was carrying.
Oh, yeah.
And
Yeah, that makes
anchored,
sense.
she was stuck. She didn't know what to do with it. Now, was this something to do with BBC? Was this something in her personal life? Was this friendship circle? Was this higher echelons of society? Was it a little bit of everything? But there was something
Yeah.
really anchoring her down.
Multiple, multiple.
Yeah.
Mm.
The next card I've got is the family connection.
Ah. Oh, which could be the whole BBC too.
Yeah.
Family
Oh,
doesn't have to
yeah.
just mean
Yeah.
blood relatives. It can mean your connections,
Mm,
your fraternity or your
mm.
workplace.
And then I got liberation prevails.
Mm. Shackled again too. Hands are
Yeah.
tied.
Mm. And then I got socialite, Queen of Cups. Now she was
The Queen.
but when I got Queen of Cups, I usually get Diana as a Queen of Cups in my readings, and I
Mm.
straight away when I was like, oh, it's like a Diana connection, and I just thought, yeah, but don't just be so surface level. Try and do
Yeah.
more critical thinking, Claire, rather than just going down avenues, because I think sometimes we can miss things as well.
Oh, we
Um,
can
because
by taking
social
the most obvious
Yeah,
answer.
oh, it was a paedophile ring, and oh, it was Diana, and they all were connected. I think that's so out there at the minute, and I was just like, okay, it can be right, but there can be other things with that as well.
Mm.
So popularity, um,
The fact that she was a celebrity as
yeah,
well. She
emotional
was,
well-being as well.
yep, cups.
Well, corrupted is on the back of that card as well. Bad
That,
choices.
yeah, that would be the system.
The social circle around her. But it's interesting because I really wasn't expecting any of those cards.
Mm. And I think that card sits next to the circle card that you've pulled. So it says family connection, but it's
Mm,
also a big circle. So it
mm.
could be the social circle.
Yeah, the social
Mm.
circle.
And did we ever find out what documents were being faxed to her from her agent?
Well, I don't know if you have. I don't know personally.
I don't know either. That's what when you were saying what was weighing heavy on her, was there some kind of decision that she was discussing with her agent
Hmm.
and he was faxing something over to her?
Hmm.
Because if you have a
Could
problem
be.
and the management are not sorting it out, would you go to your agent to try and sort some kind of issue out?
So she went home to get those documents. They were
Yes.
faxed to her home.
Yes.
So what's stopping somebody going and getting in, or actually being in there and wait, or being got in there, got them, be waiting outside for her,
That's
and then
right.
going,
Yep. And there was a good 15 minutes before the police were phoned from her estimated time of death
mm,
to the 911 call or the emergency services call.
mm.
I mean, maybe a professional or somebody that had access could have easily just been in there and do we know what side of her head?
I don't know.
Front or back? We
So I
don't know. I
Google it.
don't know either. Mm. Like, was it
Where was
some
Jill
coming from the
Dando?
front door or coming from someone standing behind?
Where was Jill Dando shot? What'd she say? Her step.
Yeah.
I don't know. Hair's getting quite good on you at the minute. 29 Gowan Avenue, Fulham. Location doorstep. Date approximately 11:30, but time changes a lot. 11:30 to
Hmm.
11:47. Single gunshot wound to the head.
Mm. Which doesn't say front or back.
No. So it could have
Mm.
been doosh, could have been the
Yes.
side, could have back. Get it out
Yes.
on the top.
That's right. Mm. So we should look at one of these avenues. So where to start with this one? There's so many
God,
different avenues to look at.
there is.
Maybe we probably should start with the guy that was arrested,
Yep.
Barry
Yep.
George. Just pull his energy because he's been acquitted.
Yep.
And again, this is all alleged,
Oh yeah, no
entertainment
facts
purposes
here.
only. Tarot card reading. It's no facts. We're just yeah, reading cards. We're pulling
Mm-hmm.
cards today for a bit
Mm-hmm.
of
Mm-hmm.
fun.
Yeah. So do you want to look at Barry George first?
Yeah, let's pull a couple of cards just for his energy.
Investigation deck, do you think?
Yeah, I've got that one.
Ooh, just a couple of cards on Barry George. Your decks. I love your decks.
Yeah. So I think mine is just telling the story of what actually happened.
Mm-hmm.
So the story of what happened. So I got yes as a card that came out, but yes, he was convicted at first.
Mm-hmm.
Um, based on the evidence that they found in his pocket. So the
Mm-hmm.
cards are basically just saying they're on the case. They know what case we're talking about. So around Barry's energy, yes, he was arrested. He
Mm-hmm.
went to jail for 7 or 8 years based on DNA or not DNA, but evidence to do with the gun powder found in
Mm-hmm.
his pocket. Something was seen. He kind of matched the description for the people that gave the description of him.
Mm-hmm.
So he kind of matched that scenario. So then they found the evidence and then that all supported that. But that didn't go to plan.
Mm-hmm.
That case fell apart and he was released. So the cards are just saying, we're here, we're on it, we've
Yeah.
got the stream with him.
Yeah. I've got some interesting cards as well. I've got cover up. Cover up
Ah,
or tampering.
mm. I mean, if one person goes down that didn't do it, well, then that's
Yeah.
kind of like a cover up, isn't it?
Yeah. And home search or house. Something to do with her house.
Ah.
And again, the
They,
home, the neighbours.
they did search his home too, which is interesting because they found photos of her. They found film rolls. I don't know if you know this part, but film rolls,
Mm,
all different females on the
mm,
film rolls, lots of guns, lots of camouflage. So I mean, they walked into that and would have thought, yeah, this is our guy, because there was
Mm,
photos of her
mm,
as well as other
mm,
celebrities as
mm.
well. So,
Justice, legal trial like yours, it went to court,
yes.
and
Yep.
then temperance, life in balance. At the bottom, we've got the emperor, which is the powerful figure. So there is somebody powerful behind this.
Yep.
There is
Because he
somebody
wasn't,
powerful.
that doesn't suit him, does it? That
No,
emperor
he's not a
card does
powerful
not
man at
sit
all.
with
He's
him.
a
Not.
loner. He's
He's
ill.
not.
He's an easy target. But this gives me the again. A lot of these cases give me the Jack the Ripper energy.
Oh, yeah.
And I did a
Yeah.
video on that. I've done a couple of videos, and we've
Oh,
well,
yeah.
like in the readings I've done, I've narrowed it down to like a connection, a group of people, high societies within royal connections of the time. And it wasn't just one Jack the
Hmm.
Ripper; it was many different men,
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Now, I wonder what
and
they were
women starting to
doing.
speak up about it.
Oh, okay. That's good. That's good. So I wonder what the society, like now we hear about the Epstein files and we hear
Mm,
about all the things that they were doing and, all the awful stuff that they're doing with the
mm.
victims. And I wonder if there was always societies like that.
There was in London. I know I've just read a book. God, what's her book, God, what's it called? I'm obsessed over it. Harlots. There was a drama series called Harlots.
Oh, okay.
And the Harlots was based on this book. Was it Haley Rubenold? I think who wrote it. A very interesting book. And basically in her book, she is saying that there has always been the Epstein files. And she goes back to Georgian and Victorian times, and she actually produces a
Wow.
list at the end of her book, which is like the old-fashioned Epstein list, and it's princes, dukes, the Spencer family's on there. Every family that we talk about in the UK, they're all there, and it's a list of them, all
Wow.
different classes. There's some paupers on there, but basically
Yeah.
this network of men that were using females, prostitutes, children, babies, etc. And she was
Mm-hmm.
basically
Mm-hmm.
saying, this is nothing new. It's always
Right.
been.
Way back. And that goes
Mm,
back further than I
mm,
thought. So,
mm,
and do we really think with the arrest or passing of Epstein then that it's all over?
mm.
Probably not.
No,
It's still
no,
going on, I'd say. I'll have to rewatch this video back and get the name of that book because yeah, that sounds fascinating.
yeah. What's it called? Let me see if I can unload it for everybody else. I think it's
Yeah,
Haley
yeah.
Rubenold because it can be heavy at parts, I will say. But in the adaptation of it, it's secret societies in it as well.
And that is a movie or a series?
It's a series. Oh, it's called the Covent Garden Ladies.
Oh, okay.
It's that.
Right. Good, good. Oh, yeah, definitely. Yeah, go and invest in that one.
It was at the end that when she did the list, and it's like, oh my God. And this is documents
Fascinating.
that have been found in brothels and of
And
names
and that
and
it makes sense for the Jack the Ripper then, doesn't it?
yeah, and women going
And because
missing,
I
children going missing.
yeah, way back then.
Mm,
It's a messed up world, really, when you
mm,
start looking into
mm,
things, isn't
mm,
it?
mm. And
And for so long we had our eyes closed to all of it,
mm, mm,
just living and before the internet, we didn't know any of this stuff happened.
mm, mm, mm. We've just been watching A Woman of Substance, which is well, it's loosely based on her own story, the Barbara Taylor Bradford, well, her grandma's story. And I was saying to Gary, this happened a lot in these big houses with these maids,
Oh
and
yeah.
the lords of the manor and the sons and the grandfathers and the
Mm-hmm.
abuse. When you see
Mm-hmm.
Downton Abbey, it's so glamorized, but it wasn't like that for so many people. There was so much
Yeah.
abuse.
Yeah, I could
Um,
imagine.
Maids and young maids and
Yeah. And probably
babies
rather
being
than
had and
their
babies being given
wives.
away and wives bringing up maids' babies and all kinds of wild stuff.
Wow. Crazy.
Mm. I don't think we need to pull on Barry George anymore because I think he's just Barry George.
Yeah, I
I
think so
think,
too. I think so. The cards aren't really pulling out anything above the facts with that one.
yeah, I think Alan Farthing, the fiance, is our next port of call. I don't know why. I just,
Okay. Mm. Now the connection here that fascinated me when you told me that he's gynecologist for the
mm,
royal family
yeah.
after I had the dream about the newborn baby.
Mm. Alan Farthing, Jill Dando's murder.
I mean, he looked pretty genuine to me when I saw the video of
Oh,
him. He looked, yeah,
mm,
but then the connections there are a bit,
mm,
hmm, that's a weird card.
yeah. What we got?
Okay, I've got cards that seem very out of character, and I'm not sure what to make of these. I'm not sure what to push with these cards because
Was
they're,
he out of character? Was he a public face and private person? That's out of character for you.
yeah, yeah. Well, I got, and I don't see this as being a thing, but maybe it's a certain, it's the DV card, the domestic violence.
Mm,
And that's what I mean. His face didn't appear to be somebody that would be that way, but who knows what somebody's like behind
mm,
the scenes. They can be very charismatic on the outside, and behind the scenes, they may be a jealous person,
hmm.
or because then, well, jealous. I got the jealous card,
And the
the jealousy.
socialite, she was a beautiful, slim, attractive, intelligent, independent
Mm-hmm.
woman.
Mm-hmm.
Socialite.
Yeah. So maybe there was a bit of some kind of controlling issues to
Mm,
pull her back, to pull her energy back out of jealousy. I got evidence, and then I got some kind of paper trail around him. So it's
got that.
strange. I'm like it's not what I would have expected from his energy.
Ah,
What did you pull?
interesting. I got deeply involved water and the feminine energy. The stars. She's a star. She's slim. She's attractive. She's shining bright. She's at the peak. She's in her mid-30s. She's got a
Stunning to
circle
the,
of friends
yeah.
around her. Then we've got moon. No, unclear, but again, the feminine energy
Mm-hmm.
and the illusion. What is it? Her illusion with him, like you said. That's not like you to be like that because the interesting thing is I'm actually currently reading a novel like that with a male protagonist in it, where on the surface is Mr. Wonderful, handsome,
Yeah.
rich, successful, and as the story develops, you're starting to see more and more of him. Um, we've got ransom or note left.
That's what I got.
Yeah,
That's the one where I said the paper trail. I got the
yeah.
same thing. That's bizarre.
And we've got also more than one involved. And
Mm.
there would need to be more than one involved for this. This
Mm-hmm.
is a group of people, a hooded group of people.
Mm.
And at the bottom, I always take the bottom card is deal organized.
Something organized.
A deal.
Yeah.
Handshakes. You know the handshakes, yeah?
Yeah. Especially when it relates to more than one involved.
Mm,
Because they were saying that the majority of cases, 90% of cases are known to the victim, or there's someone known to somebody that the victim knows,
mm,
meaning like some kind of handshake
mm,
deal with somebody that she
mm,
knows.
mm. I mean, could Jill have been investigating, looking at certain things for some time? Where did this? Because I was looking about her and Alan Farthing, because I thought they'd been together quite some time and they'd not.
Hmm.
Literally a
Okay.
year or something, or even
Oh,
shorter than that. He like literally just came out of nowhere. And it's like he was already married and he was going through a divorce, and it's just like who is he? Where's he come from? Is it a case of like all alleged, obviously? Um,
hmm.
is he part of some group of men in
Like a
London?
handler.
Yeah. And
Mm.
is this same group of men they will have role connections? And it's like, okay, well, we will elevate you to have this role now. Is it a
Yep.
sacrifice or something? Or
To pull her into line, maybe.
yeah,
Mm. If she was getting too close to something,
yeah,
or
yeah. Oh, it
could
could
be,
just be that he was just jealous. I
yeah,
don't know.
yeah,
Was she
which I
onto
got the
him?
jealousy card.
Was she onto him? I don't know. It just seems very, very weird.
Especially that we've both got the ransom card or the papers. So some kind of, so either something that he found,
Mm,
papers that of hers, or something that he,
mm,
is there a connection to the agent that was faxing her the information?
mm,
Fax that she went there for. More than
mm,
one involved.
mm, mm. See if we can see oh, I was looking at what does Jill feel about him? Liberate, Bound by struggle, cancer battle. Well, cancer is like a poison, isn't it?
Mm.
You're
It's
like a,
also bound.
you've heard of people say you're like a cancer to me.
Yeah.
But liberate, look at that, a beautiful flower bound by chains.
Trapped. Trapped, which is bound.
Mm.
Mm.
Curiosity, seeker of information. She was looking for information. I don't think it was really looking into about. I mean, it may not all be connected, but he's somewhere in this.
I think so too. And that's the thing when somebody it threw me then because
Mm,
the cards that came out for him didn't look like his surface energy.
yeah.
So maybe that's the reason he was implanted because he looks so innocent. But
Mm,
I think there's a little bit more behind him,
mm.
allegedly.
Yes. No facts here. Should we
No
go on to
facts.
Cliff Richard? Do you know what Cliff Richard is?
I do know Cliff
Yeah.
Richard, but yeah, this is I didn't know of the connection to her
Yeah,
with
she was
Cliff
he
Richard.
was a close friend of hers, allegedly. There's lots of pictures of them together. And there is a question
Hmm.
mark over him now in relation to abuse. All alleged, no facts, because he goes nuclear.
Okay. Right.
Yeah,
And he was a friend of hers.
yeah.
So she trusted him.
Mm-hmm. Allegedly,
Right.
yeah.
But there must have been, he would have been involved in circles, I would imagine, some kind
Yes.
of circles.
Yeah.
Again, the people you know or somebody that knows somebody, like
Mm,
they said, 90% of cases.
mm-hmm. Ooh, I've got some that have just flipped out. So I've got four that have flipped out. Tower, chaos in a building, but that's a gunshot wound as well.
Oh, yeah.
The fool, risk taking. Jealousy or cheating? This is for Cliff Richard. I don't think he was cheating on her, I don't think. I think he's gay. Well, he is gay. Judgment, harsh sentence. They just fell out. Okay.
Was the partner jealous of her connection to Cliff?
Could have been.
Like, why would he be? But
Yeah. Oh God, the energy's gone very Cliff Richard, Jill Dando, Cliff Richard, his connection to her death. Is there a connection to her death?
thinking of Cliff, I got secrets being exposed.
Yeah.
So cards are on his energy. But there's a little bit of the devil card. Now, the devil card, it says here narcissist, torture, rage on the
Mm,
card, but the
mm,
devil card can also talk about debauchery,
mm-hmm,
your vices and things that you're,
mm,
that, yeah, those kind of things,
mm-hmm.
which would be the things that are being exposed about him.
Yeah, she's got strength and confrontation here. So this is for
Hmm.
Cliff. Confrontation. Did she find something out? The tower, her world. She's all of a sudden she's starting to realize her friends, her partner, the institution. Where does she go? It's all corrupted. I mean, look where we are today. It's just horrific. The fool, risk taking. She's on her own. The moon. Jealousy and cheating, judgment clearing, and the family gets close to her. This circle.
Circle,
It's the circle that's
the
close to
social
her.
circle around her. Now you think
Masked,
about
not true face for
uh, uh,
Cliff.
yeah, and people around her being different
Hmm.
behind the
Hmm.
surface.
Aggressive attack
Me too, aggressive attack.
and deal organized. So
I got organized meeting, which is my organized card.
yeah. So far we've got Barry George. Leave him out of it.
No, no, he's out.
Um, Alan
Question
Farthing.
marks on the partner. There's something behind the surface around him.
Hmm.
Now you think about how you feel, all of us, with the release of the Epstein files, to start to discover what goes on in the world.
Hmm.
Now imagine being a person that's in it, a female that's in it, and starting to realize the people around you are
Hmm.
involved in things like that.
Hmm. Hmm.
What would you want? You'd want to get out of it.
Yeah,
You'd
you
want to
would, yeah.
tell somebody.
Well, it's like when I used to work at my old place, I started to realise, because I worked in NHS, and I started to realise that males, in that some males, it was a
Hmm.
network of
Mm.
abuse and all kinds of things and all kinds of
Yeah.
disgust. And all you find yourself looking, you start to see the females backing them up as well. And you
Okay.
look around you and you're like, there's no one here I can talk to.
Yeah.
They're all part of it. They may not be abusing, but they're covering up, they're laughing about it.
Well, that's how to get the advancements,
Yeah,
isn't it? If you don't, you're not going
yeah,
anywhere in a career
yeah.
if you're going against the grain. But we have to be clear too, it's not all males.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's a network, normally males, but
Yeah.
it's not all
Yeah.
males.
Yeah. It's
Mm.
and now we'll go on to Jimmy Savile.
So I also got relationships here as well when talking of Cliff as well,
Mm,
relationships. And again,
mm,
that's another circle and moon energy in that card as
mm,
well.
mm.
But other than that, the other cards were quite similar to yours as well.
Yeah. So Jimmy Savile, Jimmy Savile.
So she would have had dealings with him being the BBC.
Mm, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Jimmy Savile, and Jill Dando's death. Jimmy
So I
Savile.
got person as known. So she did know him.
Yeah.
She knew Jimmy Savile.
Drugged or poisoned?
Mm. Oh, it's a bit Bill Cosby-ish.
Yeah. Empress, mother figure, empathy. Web of lies. Family connection again.
Oh,
That card's the connecting card and deal organized.
again, again.
I'll do one more. Aggressive attack, yeah.
Oh,
Now, I
but
don't know how much you know about Jimmy, but he had high connections to police within the UK. Like he had like a Tuesday club or something in his flat, and they'd all like the big top brass of police would go and have coffee with him I think on a Tuesday and a Thursday, the Thursday
coffee.
club or something. Yeah, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And they were top brass in police
Mm-hmm.
at the time, so he had very, very, very powerful influences in UK.
Yeah. So
Um,
I have got the powerful card here. That's the Emperor. So
yeah.
and he was connected to the royal family as
Hmm.
well, Jimmy
Hmm.
Savile.
Hmm.
So that would be his connections to Charles. Is that who
Yeah,
he was
yeah,
connected to? Charles.
yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
Person is known. She's recognizing that she knows him. Um, he was a repeat offender.
Mm.
She's saying
Oh
because
yeah,
I
yeah.
when she said he's known to me, I said, "What did you think of him?" She says, "Repeat offender." So known for what he done, but there are other crimes connected to him,
Hmm.
probably more than what we've been told.
Hmm. Hmm.
So I wonder if that's saying that ring of network is connected.
Mm.
So the two crimes are connected,
Hmm.
being that network within the BBC.
Yeah.
The first thing I got in the cards was that she was feeling unsafe
Hmm.
and management were not doing, and she felt neglected by management. Is
Hmm.
I'm assuming it would be management, but she felt neglected, her safety. Mm.
It's wild,
So
isn't
not
it?
it is not saying that it was him, but sounds connected to the BBC ring.
Mm. I
What was the
picked
card
this.
you just pulled?
I picked this deck up. It's your
Hmm.
connections deck, and I was just in my head. I said, "What did you think of Jimmy Savile?" And as I'm starting to shuffle, a card flipped up, and I was like, "I'll come to it later. I'll just keep shuffling." And I've just shuffled and stopped, and I got hidden, searching for truth, hidden secrets.
She was
She was
uncovering.
poking the nest.
She, yes,
Protector, feel safe, watching over you.
that's the card I pulled on her.
Yeah,
Yeah, she felt unsafe.
I think so far, allegedly, according to the cards, we've got Alan Farthing in this circle. Allegedly, there's something with Cliff Richard, and there's definitely something with Jimmy Savile.
Yeah, being the network around
Yeah,
Jimmy Savile.
and it's
Yeah.
almost like I don't know about you, but I'm feeling Alan Farthing's on the outside. Then we get
Mm-hmm.
little Cliff Richard there. Then we get to call. We've got Jimmy Savile. It gets darker.
Mm. Yeah, maybe the partner was like the one to rein her in,
Yeah.
to try and get a handle on her. She's digging too deep or she's,
Hmm.
pull her into line. So yeah. And
Hmm.
again, we both got the notes, the ransom note, which could be her uncovering hidden
Hmm.
papers or information around that circle
Hmm.
to do around the Jimmy Savile
Yeah.
circle.
Hmm.
She was uncovering too much. We both got it when we read on the partner that he was somehow connected to that, so that
Hmm.
he would have known that she was
Hmm.
what she was uncovering.
Hmm.
Surely she would have discussed it with him.
Yeah. I
Mm.
mean, I don't know if you might want to watch the Hugh Edwards thing or who, I don't know how to pronounce it. It's got Martin Clunes in it. And that shocked me as well because the BBC and the press, they knew about him for years. And another one that got up the echelons of society was the Queen's funeral, I think. All the big royal events, he was one of the ones that and it's just like they knew about him for years. For years. They knew,
Yeah.
and this was proper nasty stuff as well.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And it's
And
like,
and they're
what else do
walking
you
around
want
just
now?
getting away with it. Yeah. And meanwhile, the general public are just blinders on. We have
Mm,
no idea what's going on.
mm,
And they just get away with whatever they want because they're
mm,
so powerful and connected to powerful people.
mm.
And then we have Epstein also connected to the royal family with there's
Yeah.
photos of him sitting on the throne. Was it
Mm,
the throne room
mm,
in the
mm.
mm,
So the next one we'll look at is the connection for the UK royal family
okay.
in a death. And then we'll look at why was Alan Farthing promoted.
Mm-hmm.
So UK royal family, Jill Dando's death. Domestic violence. I'm not laughing at domestic violence, but
I know. When we're both pulling the same cards. That's what I love about doing the collaboration crime
yeah.
because it's from when one person pulls a card, but when two people pull the same card.
Now we've got the chariot. Now, is the chariot the car that Diana died in, the car crash? The violence of that? Is it the driving force of her investigating? Let's keep
Mm.
pulling, Claire.
Because then the Queen of
Organised
Cups card that you
meeting.
pulled.
Organised meeting. Sun, yes, correct path.
Oh.
The orb. And something was seen.
So they might know about it. Now I've got their hands, I've got innocence
Mm-hmm.
when it comes to their hands
Mm-hmm.
clean. Like I feel like it's maybe they may, I don't know if they know about it, but it feels to be a level down from them to me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But there's a circle card here. We've got the relationships again. So we have to look
Mm-hmm.
into the relationships,
Mm-hmm.
the ring of circle, the circle around her, the relationships,
Mm-hmm.
or who's connected to the
Mm-hmm.
relationship, which is what we have been doing. We've been looking at the connections to the
Mm-hmm.
relationships that she has. And then I've pulled the guilty card to do with the sitting next to the relationship card,
Yeah.
guilty.
I'm just going to do Queen Elizabeth's energy towards Jill Dando murder because I still think it's this equerry, man in grey suits type energy.
Mm.
Um, the movers and shakers of it. Man's club, boys club. Pardon the
Yeah. And
pun.
way back then, nothing was exposed. So they would have
Yeah.
covered things up.
Deal organised. Digital footprint.
Again, again.
That's for the Queen.
So again, I've pulled the unsafe card. This is a
Ah.
different deck. This one here. Well, the very first thing I pulled is that she felt unsafe in her home for some reason.
Mm,
And again, I'm pulling felt unsafe in her home.
mm,
So not maybe just this time, maybe prior. She just that's why she wasn't there because she didn't
mm,
feel safe. Co-conspirators?
mm. It's interesting.
Vehicle.
Yeah.
And then perspective. So you've got to look at it from a which it flipped funny. I'll show you the back of the card as well. So this deck is one side Oracle, other side Tarot. The
Yeah.
front side says perspective, look on the outside of
Mm,
the circle. So you need
mm-hmm,
to look on the outside. But then on the back it says covering up. There was
mm,
covering up.
mm,
Wonder why the vehicle.
mm. Why do we keep getting a vehicle? Why do we keep getting a vehicle? The fool, risk taking, purposely disappeared. Is that Diana? Risk taking. I mean, that last summer, she was taking a lot of risks. She was going in the press. She was
Hmm.
flitting here, there, and everywhere. No security, driving fast. Um, do you know what
Which
I'm
is what
seeing?
I
And I'm not
felt when you
making
pulled that.
excuses for all family here at all, but I'm
Mm,
seeing that people go, oh, they're all family, they're all family, they're all family. I think the real problem is the people that are around them. There's an awful network
yeah,
of people that are around them, and I think they've been there since day dot. And I
that's how it
think they've
feels.
moved and shaped and exploited kings, queens, set kings and queens. I'm not saying kings, I'm really not, but I'm saying it'd be really, really silly to just go, it's a queen, it's the royal family.
Mm.
I think there's
Hmm.
a horrible network around them.
That's what it feels. It feels the same. And especially with those last two cards that you pulled as well, and the connection to the vehicle and Diana. Was
Mm,
it the information around her, or
mm,
was Jill Dando digging into areas around everything and just
mm,
getting too close to the
mm-hmm,
information?
mm-hmm, mm,
And they worked by bribery, so maybe they didn't really have anything on her,
mm,
so they had to purposely disappear her. Which is that card
mm,
that you just pulled, purposely disappeared because she was getting too close to information.
mm.
So the other connection would be the bombing of the Serbian
Oh
television
yeah,
and radio, just so we can see the difference in the energy.
yeah.
Because we've pulled, I feel like we're pulling on the same ring. We
Mm,
feel like
mm,
we're pulling, and it feels very connected. But I just wonder what the difference in the energy would be if we're looking at a completely different scenario.
yeah. What? Hostage or trade.
Hmm.
And we've got star, hidden clues, breakthrough. Those two fell out.
So I was thinking, if you wanted to cover something up, that would be the perfect frame job that you would
Mm,
use.
mm. Right timing. Moon, no, hidden, unclear.
You got no, and I got wrong direction.
Mm.
Mm.
Emperor, father figure in charge of somebody powerful, whoever he is.
Yep, and I
Um,
got High Priestess.
yeah.
Yeah.
Money involved.
Mm. Powerful, wealthy people.
Mm.
And
Put in
this
a
is
room or
hidden knowledge,
place. Yeah.
trying to hide knowledge or information. So it's an interesting
Not
the shift
involved,
in
unaware.
energy.
So I've got Serbia, not
Same.
involved, unaware.
Yeah, and I got wrong direction. So isn't that
Mm,
interesting about the connection that we just felt then when we were tapping into all those people and
mm,
the network and the ring and the social circle,
mm,
had the feeling of that.
mm,
And you could feel the deeper you're going into
mm.
that energy, how more connected it felt. And then
Yeah.
you pull back, change and look at it from a different perspective in a different scenario, the energy is completely different.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the
Feels
cards straight
different.
up say wrong direction,
Yeah.
not involved in her death,
Mm,
like it's been portrayed.
mm. Now I want to look at why was Alan Farthing promoted to the Queen's surgeon?
Why?
Oh, he was a great gynecologist. He might have been, but you don't want him as your gynecologist after this session, would you?
Mm,
I'll give
no.
birth to my own baby, thank you very much.
You probably got to be in a privileged group, I think, to to have
Yeah,
him as your gynecologist.
yeah. Why was Alan Farthing promoted to the royal surgeon
Mm.
after the death of Jill Dando.
So where my brain's going now, and it's not connected at all, I've got to say, this is just my brain on a little tangent. When you think it's of celebrity cases and the sacrifices.
Yeah.
So the cases where certain celebrities became famous, and just before they become famous, they lose somebody very close to them. There's quite a large number of them. If you start looking in, they've all kind of lost someone, or even if it's a backup dancer for some of the female singers, there's been a couple of
Yeah.
those. For some of the male actors, there's been girlfriends that have
Mm,
passed. Quite a few of them. So you think
mm,
of that sacrifice prior to the promotion.
mm.
Mm. Unconnected, of course.
Yeah.
That was just a little tangent my brain went on.
Something was seen.
Can you believe that?
No,
Something was seen. It
something
was the
was
last one was
seen.
on. It just flicked out.
Mm. The tower, chaos, or in a building. That reminds me of one of the towers at Windsor Castle, does that? And the bullet
Yeah,
hole.
yeah. I thought the same when you said tower, and we're talking about a job, a royal job.
Mm. Put in a room or place, put him in his place. Keep your enemies
Mm,
closer, your friends, whatever. Put
yes,
him in his place, you know where he is,
yes.
keep him
Keep an eye on him.
sweet, keep us, yeah.
Pay him, give him a promotion, a job
Money
that he
involved.
gets used to the money.
You just said pay him, and I've got money
Yeah,
involved.
there you go.
Pay
Keeps
him.
him quiet. The money's coming in as a paycheck.
Mm. Hostage or trade.
Mm,
Got him as
yeah.
hostage.
Mm.
Organised meeting.
Again, we
Was he
keep getting
called
that
to a
one.
meeting and told in no uncertain terms that keep your mouth shut and this is your job?
Yep, and we'll keep paying your
And
checks,
it's
paying
Your
your
Majesty, you
wage.
now have a new surgeon. Oh, really? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's a pretty high
Exposed
promotion, I think.
secrets.
So he doesn't expose secrets.
Yeah.
So there's
Hierophant
motives,
authority.
motives why he's got that job.
Yeah.
Bit of
Hierophant
suspicious
authority.
activity.
The top wizard and repeat offender. You know, when I said to you at the beginning, this reminds me of the Jack the Ripper crimes. This ain't the
That's what it's
first
based
time this
on.
has happened. And
Yeah.
in the Jack the Ripper crimes, wasn't there one of the suspects was a surgeon? Oral
Surgeon.
surgeon, yeah?
Yes.
Just like the
Yes.
reincarnation.
Oh. Maybe surgeons' skills were required for certain tasks.
Hmm.
Because we talked about the network around the Jack the Ripper.
Yeah, and abortions and things.
Mm. Oh yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Because I often think, how do they do all this? Because they must have people, you know what I mean?
Yeah. People with NDAs, people on high paychecks that will lose their
Mm,
paycheck if they let any expose any
mm.
secrets. Mm. Yes, I think it's pretty clear.
It's so clear. These cards. He's seen something, he knows something, put him in his place, pay him. He's our hostage. It's a trade-off. He's called to an organized meeting. He's told, don't you expose our secrets. This is a powerful authority, and it's a repeat offender. It's a repeat story. It's been
Yeah,
repeated time after
something
time
that
after
keeps
time.
happening. Yep. And that's a full story. That is an entire story.
Hmm.
Mm. Allegedly.
Yeah, these elite men that are attached, and they attach themselves to certain circles and powerful individuals, and
Yeah. And they may even be, some of them may be into that stuff, but some of
mm,
them may be kind of trapped into that situation, like
mm,
hostage, like you said.
mm,
So, they risk their whole livelihood. They're on the streets with
mm,
no money
mm,
and they'll never work again if
mm,
they release information. So they're trapped in that situation. But then others probably may be involved. You just don't
yeah.
know. I'd say there's all types out there.
What does Jill think of Alan's job with the with the royal family now, not just the Queen? What's Jill's feeling about it? Protector, feel safe watching over you. Ooh, watching over you.
Hmm.
Resilient, resisted, I held on.
I think that's because of the whole, that's the card that I got first, was that protection card. She felt unsafe. And I
Mm-hmm.
think she felt unsafe for a long time. That's what I'm saying. It wasn't just one thing, it was several things.
Mm,
Whether it was things that happened to her or things that she was uncovering, she did not feel safe for a long
mm-hmm.
period of
Mm-hmm.
time.
But
And
if you,
her feelings were neglected.
mm,
Her safety was neglected.
mm. But if you think about it, even her partner, I mean, thank God I've never been in that situation where you get something like this land on your doorstep. But, I'd like to think that if that was me, I'd say, you know what, shoot me now, kill
Mm,
me, because I'm not going to go, because I am a loose cannon anyway, so
mm.
kill me now.
To
Sent me
be,
going.
yeah, to be always in
To
that
just go,
situation.
you killed the love of my life, and yeah, I'll go a bit Queen Cert to me is if I was looking down on someone, I think I'd be thinking, well, my God.
To stay further in the hole and to keep
Mm,
getting further into it, the darkness.
mm,
So, interesting card that I pulled out of this new deck is the caregiver card. So, this is a card of somebody taking care of babies,
mm-hmm,
but maybe, like you said, abortion. And maybe that's what her feelings towards his new job would be that dark energy around babies.
mm,
False guardian. So, something about it is false.
mm,
To do with maybe but the babies because he's a gynecologist.
mm, mm. What type of role does Alan Farthing now hold within the royal family? Ringmaster.
Oh, well,
That's who he is
that's a
now.
pretty
He's a
that's pretty
ringmaster.
high. That's pretty high.
He's got high up now. Star, hidden clues, breakthrough. He's a star now. He's earned his stripes.
Commander
What was that?
on this one. Commander.
Mm, ooh,
The king
well-funded operation.
of wands. Well paid.
Out of the picture.
Mm.
Two crimes connected.
So that's more than one crime.
Strategy and planning.
They're dark. They're dark cards. Dark energy
Deeply
there.
involved. He's deeply involved. So now
He's
I'm
turned.
going to
I've got
just shuffle
the
some
wheel.
cards
He's
on because I know
turned.
I realise we've not done. It's just shuffle cards on the case itself. We've looked
Okay.
at all the suspects.
Yeah.
Let's look at the case itself. So the murder of Jill Dando. The murder of Jill Dando.
Mm. Now, I was just saying dark energy, very, very dark energy, and I've pulled the dark web. So there's a
Dark
whole web
intention or motive.
and dark intention came out. They're the two cards.
Mm,
Dark intention and dark web.
mm,
The whole web and I don't know if you can feel it, but it feels really dirty, really
mm,
dark.
mm,
And then you pull the energy out and you look at a different avenue and the energy just feels different.
mm-hmm,
It's quite dark actually. It's probably very unsafe energy.
mm, mm.
So this is why this is just all alleged. This is just,
Yeah.
there's no facts in card
No,
reading.
there's no facts here. Undercover.
Hmm. You know what's interesting about that card is the hooded road.
Mm. Cannot see clearly.
Mm. Eyes wide shut. Sorry.
Media or social media.
Oh, well, that was the BBC.
The
That's the
television, the
BBC.
BBC.
Yeah.
Staged, set up, framed.
ringmaster and
Yeah.
tower. So that's that really, and a cover
She
up.
knew too much and wanted to talk.
And that's the card that really feels like where this has all
Mm-hmm.
been leading and well funded.
Mm-hmm.
They're well paid to cover up the
Mm-hmm.
chaotic system, tower, ringmaster. And
Yeah.
that's probably his energy,
Yeah. Hangman delays sacrifice. She was a sacrifice.
which we talked about.
Yeah. And home search your house. And it's all about her home. It's God.
And I keep getting she felt unsafe in her home.
Yeah,
Her
I think,
her
yeah,
home felt unsafe to her.
possibly bugged it. Um, check
Mm,
who lived either side of her. Big
yeah.
fat question mark over Alan.
Maybe she
Um,
felt watched when she was in the home because
mm,
maybe somebody was surveilling her.
mm,
Well, I think the cards have been pretty clear with this one.
yeah,
They've told a bit of a story here.
yeah, definitely, definitely.
Mm, but
So
dark,
Barry George
very,
is
very
definitely
dark energy.
out.
Mm.
And I think what many conspiracy theorists are feeling, I think you're on the right tracks.
Mm. And deliberate targeted attack,
Mm,
deliberate, which is quite similar to purposely disappeared, something on
yeah.
purpose.
Mm.
Very interesting case, but and not at all what I was expecting.
I
My
know.
thoughts
This
going
morning
in,
I was like, I really want to come to
hmm,
this really clear-headed and not bring the conspiracy. I want to, because who knows? It could just be some mad fan or I don't
yeah,
know, somebody from Crime Watch that she's. But the more I wanted to go down that avenue, the more it was like it just doesn't feel it,
feel,
and I just
yeah,
kept getting drawn to the home, the ring, the
yeah.
partner, and this network that's.
And even the energy, when I said when you step back and you try to look at a different area, the energy doesn't feel right,
Mm,
does it? It
mm,
doesn't feel right. The
mm,
energy just feels so
mm,
the other way, the cards we went the way we went down. It just
mm,
feels so dark and thick and like a big web network where when you try to look elsewhere, it just doesn't seem to feel the same. It doesn't feel right.
mm,
And that's I went in thinking, I read watched the documentary, I think it was might have even been the BBC documentary
mm,
saying about, the stalkers, about Barry and also about the Serbian bombing the NATO on,
mm,
which is
mm,
kind of what I was
mm.
thinking, but to me that sounds like the perfect cover story.
Yeah, yeah.
Distraction send you in one way when it's actually another way.
Mm. Wild times. So there, I think we've cracked
Mm.
it. I'd like
Well,
to
it's
think.
interesting we got so
Yeah.
many cards the same
I
too.
know, I know. It's sad though, isn't it? Because you'd like to sit here and think we're moving away from those times, but maybe we are. But there's so much that's still to come up, I think.
Sadly, I don't think we are.
Yeah.
And sometimes I worry that it's when they play things in movies, they do it out of karma. Like if we watch a movie and they've put a little
Mm,
narrative in there, they're showing what they've done. It's to so they don't have the karma on themselves. And we
mm,
just accept it. We love the movie, then we're okay with that whole scenario. And something about the release of the files feels like that to me. It feels like,
mm,
well, if no one's doing anything about it, then everybody's wanting to read them. They must all be okay with it.
mm,
So then that kind of takes them, they're karmically off the hook. So uh, it's a really awful feeling,
mm,
partly behind the release of the files.
mm,
But yeah, I still think it goes on. I don't think that's the end
mm,
of it.
yeah.
And
Yeah.
especially when you've said, and I didn't realize how far back it goes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then it's just not going to stop
Yeah. Well, if you
because
think
it's
like the
gone back
Tudor
that far.
times as well with Henry VIII and six wives and uncles and fathers prostituting their daughters to him. Anne
Yeah.
Boleyn, Catherine Howard, that was only a young girl, and he
Mm-hmm.
would have been in
Mm-hmm.
his 40s. And she, I mean, they don't know her age. She may have been 16, she may have been 19, she may have been 21, and she may have been 12.
May
Do
have
you know
been
what I
12.
mean?
Yeah, that's exactly
Um,
what I was thinking when you said that. May have been 12.
it wouldn't
Mm.
surprise me.
Yeah, and that
Um,
just brings favors to that family then.
mm, so it's. Yeah.
Yeah, so everybody that's watched this, we've just stepped into really dark energy today. So
Mm.
brush all that energy off
Yeah.
because try not to carry that around with you because what we just went into was quite dark then. Yes,
Back with the
exactly. I've got
Florida
one
water.
sitting.
My little
Yeah,
shamanic
I've
waters here.
I've got one next to me. I'll do a little cleanse before I
Oof.
leave the room. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly,
Mm.
because that was quite dark. It felt dark. It felt very
Mm.
murky to me
Mm. Yeah.
and not what I expected
Yeah. Get rid of your
going in.
Cliff albums.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, it is what it is.
Yeah.
Oh, we're finishing at 11:11.
Ah,
Maybe
there you go.
somebody's maybe
There's
somebody
one of
saying
those
you cracked
numbers.
it. Kind of.
Yeah.
Like I said, no facts here. Well,
Open the gateway. Eyes are open.
yeah, the
The
gateway,
11,
yeah.
the 11, 11.
Um, mm.
Very interesting.
I do
Yeah. I
have a
hope
playlist
everybody
on my
liked that.
channel. I do have a playlist
Yeah.
where I've put our videos in a playlist now on my channel, CTGT Tarot. So you can work through our past. We'll have a think about our next one.
Yeah. Yeah. And if anybody's watching and has an idea of what you'd like us to read on,
Mm,
yeah, yeah, let us know. Let us know
mm,
your ideas. Love the UK stuff, love the old cold cases,
yeah,
and preferably when they're a little bit connected too to some of the topics we've been talking
yeah.
about.
If you want to look further at the death of Diana, you know.
Yeah. I don't think I've ever read Diana. I don't think I've ever read her energy.
Yeah, I don't think
Ever.
I've ever read on her death. No, I actually thought I did do a reading once, and I
Mm.
never published it. Yeah,
Ah,
I just
yeah,
didn't publish it.
yeah. I've done that before, but
Yeah,
not with Diana, but with other
yeah,
people.
yeah. It got
Yeah.
so dark. I thought I can't publish that.
Yeah. And people want it now.
I know, I know.
Yeah, so they'll know it's there somewhere.
It was same
You'll
with
get the
it was
comment,
same with
please
what's her
post that
name? God,
video.
Virginia. I did have one on
Oh,
Virginia, and I just couldn't do it. I couldn't put it out there.
okay. Yeah, I did hers. I did Virginia's. Yeah. Terrible energy around her as well.
Mm,
Yeah. 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 I feel very sorry for her.
mm,
Not only for what she went through as a child, but I think
mm,
for what she went through in recent years as well.
mm,
Mm. And the bruises and everything on her face. I may have done two readings on her because there
mm,
was just before she died, there was images that came out with she said an
mm,
accident, a car
mm,
accident. She had all these bruises all over her face, and then said she's going to die within whatever date it was because of something wrong with her. So yeah, that was kind of weird,
mm,
cryptic clue
mm,
maybe.
mm. Yeah.
Hmm. Lots we can read on. So yeah,
Yes.
Diana might be the way to go unless somebody suggests some other case.
Mm.
Hmm.
I could do some research as well and look at some of the aristocratic stuff as well. In the UK, see if there's any other cases. And 'cause I don't like to hold it in my brain, and I usually go flick through Google and I remember that case now.
Yeah,
I'll have a look at it.
yeah. And I usually do the research a day or two out. So
Mm,
yeah, that way it's fresh and
mm,
then I can just purge it, let it go.
mm, yeah. So
Mm,
thank you for watching.
yeah.
Like, comment, share,
Yeah.
subscribe. Trish's decks are great. That was the information deck. Well, not information. I can't even get information.
Investigation.
What
Yeah.
information did Jill know? Do you see
Uh-huh.
that?
Uh-huh.
Investigation deck. Trish Game
Exactly.
Oracles.
Yes, I think she was poking into the information.
Mm,
Mm, sadly.
yeah. Yeah, poking. She got a finger burnt like I did. Well,
Yeah,
she got
she
more
got
than
the
a finger
shock.
burn, to be honest. But yeah.
Yeah. Mm, very sad.
Anyway, like, comment, share, subscribe on both channels. And
Yeah.
we'll see you, and then we'll see you
Thank
in
you. Thank
May.
you. May. Yeah.
Yes.
Mid-year. Mid-year already. Can you believe it?
I know, but yeah, we're nearly the mid-year. I can't believe it.
No, very fast.
Yeah.
Well, I look forward to our next reading
Yeah.
together.
Okay, we'll see you later.
Yeah. Bye.
Bye.